All right, folks, I think we're going to go ahead and get started here with our Flippity webinar. But just before we turn things over to Lori, just a couple of housekeeping things to talk about. Just to kind of give you a preview of our upcoming sessions for this afternoon, 2 o'clock we are doing a Nearpod training. For those of you that have already seen this, it'll be a lot more of the same. But keep your eye posted on my learning plan because we are going to post next week's workshops at some point today, so keep an eye out for that. Or even better, if you hit the subscribe button on our YouTube feed, anytime that one of our live feeds pop up, you'll have the ability to jump right into the session. One other thing, just to kind of address, I know for a lot of folks that have been joining us, we've had some bumps in the road with some of the streaming just because of the bandwidth issues all over the place. So if you notice the connection drops at any time, stay patient. We'll pull the feed up back as soon as we can. And with that, I am going to turn it over to Lori Yeager here at the Model Schools team.
.org/pd to view our calendar of offerings, and there you can register if you'd like to receive CTLE credit for the training. And then you can access the live streams at www.mowerk.org/video. And there you can also view recordings of all the webinars we've conducted to date. So if you want to review any of the sessions, that's where you can go. So let's get started. First, we're going to go to flippity.net. Here at Flippity, you're able to easily turn a Google spreadsheet into all kinds of really fun, interactive online tools. I'm going to scroll down here so that you can see some of their options. It goes from flashcards, quiz show, name picker, Flippity spelling words, creating word scrambles, playing hangman, making up a tournament bracket, when in better days we have March Madness again. And even one where you can create a quiz that the students are able to earn a certificate at the end. So for each activity, they do give you a demo, instructions, and template. So let's look at a demo of Flippity spelling words. All right, so let's choose one of the lists. I want to try out the Ernie list. So here we have our list of spelling words. And as we click on play in front of each one,
CLOTHES, clothes.
It says the word, spells it out, says it again. And if you had plugged in a sentence using the word, it would also read that.
Spell clothes.
On the practice, gives you an opportunity to spell the word and immediately check
good
whether you're correct or not. Whereas on the quiz,
spell happened.
Here, it takes you through like it's an actual spelling test.
Spell clothes.
So you don't get any feedback until you're done at the end. Then the student would see how they did, would show them each of the words, whether they spelled it correctly or not. And it would also email you, the teacher, as long as you've plugged your email into the template, it would email you the results for them. And then under more, there's a number of other activities they can do, interacting with that word list. Fun with words are all kinds of different ways that you can have the words spelled out. My favorite, of course, being the Lego option. And then these you can print out in whatever format you've chosen. So another fun, interactive way the kids can work with their spelling words. The matching game is, what did we call it? Concentration, where you click on cards and turn them over until you match them up, and then they disappear. And I'm not doing very well at this game, but you get the idea. The snowman is a fun hangman style game where instead of drawing parts on the hangman, the snowman slowly melts away as you get letters wrong. So let's see. Nope. There we go. You see, as I plugged in a letter, Y, that was not in the word we were trying to spell, the snowman slowly starts to melt. Then you can also create word scrambles. Now these are meant to be printed out, not played online. So you can choose the print button here to print out the list of word scrambles, and then the students offline could interact with them, and the key here will provide the answers. That's how we turn on and off the answers. And the same thing with the word search. Again, meant to be printed out. The key allows you to show or hide the answer key. And this button creates a new word search or word scramble each time you hit it. But all kinds of different fun ways that the kids could be interacting with their spelling words. And let's go back and take a look at one other before we get into the how-tos. Let's look at the Flippity Bingo. Go into that demonstration. You're able to plug in a list of terms and a list of alternate terms. So here they have the 50 states and the capitals of each of those states. So you could play a fun bingo game with your kids where maybe you're calling out the name of the state, and on their bingo card, they have the capital, or vice versa. Now, when we're physically together, you're able to print out the bingo boards and choose whether you want the terms, which in this case were the state names, or the alternate terms, which were the capitals, to be printed on the boards. But then there's also an option where you can provide the students with a link or a QR code that will generate them a unique randomly generated board. So you could actually play this if you're able to connect via Google Meet or some other tool with your students. Google Meet being our recommended EdLaw 2D compliant tool. You send them the link, could post it in your Google Classroom, or you could also share the QR code in your Google Classroom, because then if they are lucky enough to have multiple devices they're working with, they could be seeing you in Google Meet on their laptop or Chromebook, and then be using a phone or another device with a camera to scan the QR code and play the bingo game there. But when they go to that link, it will provide them with the bingo board, and they're actually able to click on, just like they would use their little bingo dabber. So maybe we're playing this and I'm going to name capitals, and they're going to look to see if they have the state that corresponds with that. So if I call out Albany, they're going to click on New York on their board, and it's going to mark it off for them. So something that could be played when you're apart from each other, and also would be a lot of fun when you're back in the classroom. All right, so let's go back to the main page and start to look at how you're going to make this magic happen. Let's use the spelling words as our example once again. So if we go to the instructions, it's going to walk us through the steps required to actually plug in your own content and then make the flippity magic happen. So first, you're going to be making a copy of the template that they have linked here. You will need to sign into your Google account. You're going to enter student names. That's how they're labeling the different lists, and you can have up to 50 lists. Then you're going to edit your words. And as I said, you can put in phrases. You put them in quotes. If you need a sentence or want a sentence to be read to the students along with the words. And in the case of the spelling manager here, the practice and the quizzes are case sensitive, and you can plug in an email to have the results emailed to you. So there'll be instructions specific to each template, such as this, that you'll want to read through. And an important part is you don't want to edit any of the cells with a blue background. That will destroy the magic that's happening to make your activity be created. So the second step in the process is going to be publishing your spreadsheet, where you're going to go to File, Publish to the Web, and click Publish. Then there'll be a tab on the spreadsheet that will say Get your link here, and that link is what's actually going to allow you to share the spelling word lists activity or whatever activity we're talking about you creating with your students. They say bookmark the page to find it quickly again. I'm going to recommend that you take the link that's created and put it in your Google Classroom or whatever way you're interacting and communicating with your students, so that they can go there, click on the link, and be able to interact with the activity that you've created. So this process is going to be similar for each of the different activities, where you're going to make a copy of a template, make your modifications by plugging in your own content. Then you're going to do the file publish, and then you're going to take the link that's provided and put that where you want to share it with your students. And then if there's any special options for that particular activity, they will be down here at the bottom. In the case of the spelling word, you do have an option to choose the speech rate, which ranges from a 0.1, which is very slow, to a 2, which is fast. So let's take a look at the template so you can start to see how the magic does happen and how easy and simple it really is. So we're going to click on the make a copy of this template link. I'm going to choose to make a copy. Takes just a moment. Right. So here we have the template that you're going to be utilizing to create your, in this case, spelling word activity. So You could plug in your own list names here and then plug in your own words in each of the columns, deleting their content where you need. And as it indicated in the instructions, you can put phrases that you want, sentences that you want to be read along with the word in quotation marks right after the spelling word. Then this activity does have an options tab and gives you a chance to change the speech rate and also the language. And then get the link here is where we're going to go after that one other important step. After we've got all of our own words plugged in here, we're going to be going to File, Publish to the Web, and then under Published Content and Settings, we want to make sure that it's set to automatically republish when changes are made, so that if you do decide to add to your activity, you don't have to come back and republish it. And I would probably make sure that this require viewers to sign in with their, whatever your domain is, account is not checked, just in case they want to share it out with others to play with. So I'm going to click on the publish. Am I sure? Yes. Okay. And we are good. Then under the get link here, this is where you're going to grab your link that you're then going to share in Google Classroom so that your students can access these spelling activities. Here in the spelling words template, it does have a quiz-only link. So if you don't want your students to have access to the variety of activities, you want to just utilize it for giving a spelling quiz to your students, you would use the link here. Wanted to show you how easy it is to bring information into your spreadsheet, in this case, the spelling words activity. Oh, one other thing that I forgot to share down here, you could rename so that when the spelling word activities come up on your student's screen, it doesn't say demo, it says Mrs. Yeager or whatever. All right, so back to how easy it could be to bring information into the spreadsheet here. You could type them in, but if you've already got a list of words in another document somewhere, we could highlight the list of words, do copy, I'm doing a keyboard shortcut, come back to my spreadsheet, put my cursor here, say paste, and voila. No typing required. I was able to just copy and paste them in. Then wanted to share one other cool Google trick. I come over here to my drive. All right. I had found a list of spelling words on a web page. And I did a quick screenshot of some of those words. Here in Google Drive, if I right-click on an image that I have in my drive, and I go to Open with Google Docs, it is going to do cool little optical character recognition with that image. So here I have the image. I'm going to make it a little smaller so it doesn't take up quite as much room on the page. When I had it open that screenshot, that JPEG image that I had taken of those words, it does optical character recognition and actually turns them into text. Provides me with the screenshot in case I need to refer to it, and then down below does the translation into actual text. As you can see, sometimes does a little bit of weird things with the formatting, but hey, putting in a few returns instead of having to retype that whole list is still pretty handy. Now, if I copy that list and I bring it over to my Flippity spreadsheet, I am going to go to Edit, Paste Special, and choose Paste Values Only. Otherwise, I found it was adding in some spacing and things that I didn't want. So as long as I chose Edit, Paste Special, and Values Only, it seemed to copy over pretty good. So fairly quick and easy way for me to take words that I found in another format somewhere, take a picture of them, or actually, you could even take a picture with your phone of a list that you have, hard copy, put that into your Google Drive, and open it in Google Docs, and it would do a similar kind of trick. Pretty cool, eh? I won't charge you extra for that. All right, so you've gotten a chance to see how quick and easy it is to plug in your own content into the template that they provide, publish it, and then get the link that you will be able to share out with your students. Let's demo one more of the activities because it has some additional options that I want you to get a chance to see. Let's demo the flashcards. So, capital of Malaysia. Can't say I know that one. Let's flip it over and find out. All right, Kuala Lumpur. Move on to the next. The year of Columbus's discovery of the New World. Ooh, I know this one. 1492. The largest animal on Earth? I think it's one of the whales. Yes, the blue whale. The author of Love in the Time of Cholera? Not familiar with that one. Smallest planet in our solar system? Well, if this was written back when Pluto was still part of our solar system. Oh, no. Mercury. All right. This is the feature that I wanted to be able to show you. I believe this is a Vincent van Gogh. Yes. Wanted to be able to show you that you can insert images. I think we have another example here somewhere. I'm going to fast forward. Goodness, there's a lot of them. Nope. All right, I think it must be part of one of the answers. Yes, here we go. So, as part of either the question or the answer, you can include an image or a video.
Lithium is the lightest metal. We all know that sodium is pretty light as a metal. If you drop it onto water and forget the...
So you can include as part of either the question or the answer, either an image or a video. So let's take a look at the special instructions related to the flashcards, because it does demonstrate some of the other things that you are able to do within some of the different activities. So the basic steps are going to be the same. You're going to be making a copy of the template, publishing your file, getting the link, and sharing it. But then you are also able to plug pictures into your cards. Unfortunately, you cannot use Google Drive to store your images. The images have to exist on the web, and you have to have the URL ending in GIF, PNG, JPEG to have it work. But you can use Google Drawings and then use the Publish to Web link. You can embed YouTube videos by using the Share This Video link, and also some of the special math tools. And you can embed audio recordings using Vocaroo and copying the link that you see under the sharing options. All right, the last thing that I wanted to share. During these days of COVID-19 and school closures, Flippity has added an additional link here on their webpage where they're providing some recommendations on which of their different activities might be appropriate for online learning. So if we go there, for their activities, the scavenger hunt, the spelling words, the certificate quiz, and the typing tests are all activities where you can plug in your teacher email address, and it'll automatically email you the results of how the students did interacting with your content. So then it does give you documentation and insight on how your students are doing with the material. They also have a few more, the Flippity Manipulatives, Flippity Hangman, and the Flippity Matching Game, that they say, would be another way for your students to interact with the content, but they would have to take a screenshot or be sharing their screen with you during a video conference to be able to prove to you, demonstrate to you their learning. The student study aids, the flashcards and the Flippity timeline, are ways that the students could interact with the content, but wouldn't necessarily be a good substitute for a quiz or a test or something where you want specific feedback from the students on how they're doing with the content. Then there's a couple, the badge tracker and the progress indicator. They're more meant for you to be utilizing as a teacher, but that you could be using to display what your students have accomplished. Then there's a few in the maybe category where they think it might take a little bit of creativity and or some video conferencing to be involved for you to use the activities. But I think we talked about how Flippity Bingo could be something that you could use with your students if you're using something like Google Meet to connect with them periodically. And could be a fun way to interact with either course content or maybe just some fun material. Do some kind of little fun trivia-based type activity using one of these tools. And then they have a few in the not recommended category because they're more something meant to be printed out and interacted with. But the Flippity Random Name Picker, I do want to highlight to you. And I think if you are interacting with your students via something like Google Meet and want to be able to call on students, having the random name picker set up might be a way for doing that. Now, when I first saw this tool, I thought, why would I need this when I have popsicle sticks? But does give you a fun way to pick random names, plus do a variety of other things with your class list. So even if you're just choosing a single name, like you might pull a popsicle stick, you can do it with this fun spinner or with this single name picker here. But then you can also create a lineup, groups of differing sizes, teams, breaking your class up into various numbers of teams, creating a seating chart when we're back physically together, or under the more, even more options like creating a roster of your student names, doing a gift exchange, or taking your student names and sending them over to one of the other activities such as the tournament bracket, the manipulatives, or the fun with words activities. So the content of this webinar
Well, bear with me 1 second, folks.
the manipulatives or the fun with words activities. So the content of this webinar has been pre-recorded, but I will be monitoring the chat during the live broadcasting of it. So I'd love at this point if you pop into the chat and share some of your thoughts about how you think you could use some of these Flippity activities with your students while they're away from school. All right, I hope you've enjoyed this morning's webinar. Feel free to reach out to myself or any of my colleagues if you have questions. And I hope we see you for some of our other offerings. Thank you. Have a good day.